NHL Insider reveals that teams are calling on Elias Pettersson, and this player is looking real bad for the Canucks. I'll get into that later on this episode, but before I start, I just want to say to the 902 people that are subscribed, I'm so happy that you guys are enjoying this content. If you're not subscribed yet, make sure to go down, hit that subscribe button. We're going to be here all season long, giving you updates from all around the Canucks, from prospect breakdowns, game recaps, trades, rumors, anything you can think of. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by Sunday, so if you want to join the Canucks family, you can do this as well. But with that, let's hop straight into the first topic today, which is things are bad for Ilya Mikheyev. Now, when you do look at Mikheyev, there was a recent article that did come out on him. The Russian has seen the bottom fall out of his game. During the slump he's been in, Mikheyev still found a way to generate some good metrics and chances, even if they weren't going in. But against the Kraken, Mikheyev simply wasn't good. When he was on the ice, the Canucks were outshot 0-5. The winger does absolutely nothing to benefit in his brief 6 minutes. Mikheyev was simply flat out invisible, not engaged and not doing anything good. And that led to him being benched in the third as the Canucks failed to chase down the game. Something has to change at $4.75 million cap hit. Looks like this weight is going to hold down the Canucks. Now, obviously, Mikheyev did come over and looked good during his first couple of seasons with the Canucks, but things have not looked great for the winger. We're seeing him bounce around the lineup from playing in the top six, middle six, down to the fourth line, and just being benched in entire third periods, playing only 6 minutes. And right now, this contract's not looking good. I mean, Jeff Peterson says here, Ilya Mikheyev's 1 30-second shift in the third periods, 6 minutes of nice ice time all night, hasn't scored since December 17th. That is a full year if you're technically looking at it since it's 2024, but Mikheyev just hasn't got things going. As I said, during the Seattle game, he was outshot 0-5 when he was on the ice. He's making $4.75 million. He played 6 minutes and hasn't scored a goal since December 17th. When you do look at the cap hits of the Canucks, you look through here, JT Miller is signed to his deal. He is currently the most paid, or the highest paid player on the Canucks. When you look at forwards, you look at Elias Pettersson, who's due for a deal. Brock is making his $6 million. You look at guys like Connor Garland, who was at one point regarded as the worst contract on the team. And then you look down at Mikheyev, who's making $4.75 this year, next year, and the year after. And you start to really think to yourself, is he going to hold the Canucks back from really reaching what they want to do? I mean, you see guys, like I said, Pettersson still needs to be signed. Elias Lindholm needs to be signed. Teddy Bluger, who was reported as the top free agent or top UFA for the Canucks to sign this offseason. Sam Lafferty. When you look at Mikheyev, this $4.75 million, if he's not producing, and this is a guy that's just going to end up playing fourth line minutes, 6 minutes a night, not produce, being negative when he's on the ice. This has to be one of the top players the Canucks are looking at moving. Right now with Mikheyev's game, you might think you might have to move out a pick, maybe a prospect, maybe this reattach a guy like Jet Wu, send him to somewhere like Chicago, wherever it might be, try to get rid of this contract and use this cap space not only this year, not only next year, but the year after. This is 3 years of 4.75. I think Mikheyev has a chance of being a good player. We've seen him do some penalty killing. He's a fast player. He knows what to do, but right now with this slump and how long this contract is and the total value, I think the Canucks really need to question if this is the guy they want on this team for this year, next year, the year after, or if this is someone they're going to heavily just try to move before trade deadline to use this contract space maybe to go acquire another player. Maybe you flip this guy with a pick, a prospect, maybe like I said, Jet Wu, acquire a guy like Anthony Duclair, whatever it might be. I think the Canucks really need to look at this guy and just wonder, is he a part of our future for the next 3 years, or do we need to trade him this year? So what's your thoughts on that? Do you think Mikheyev's fine for being fourth line? Do you think he'll find his game again? Or do you think this is a guy that you're kind of concerned about and you really think they need to actively look at moving before the trade deadline? But with that, let's hop straight into the second topic today, which is Insider reveals teams are calling on Pettersson. Now, there was reports that came out from Elliotte Friedman today, and here's some quotes from him. One of the things that I think has developed over the last couple of weeks in Vancouver is the noise around Pettersson. What that has led to is teams calling the Canucks and asking what's going on here and could he become available. Pettersson will be an RFA at the season's end, and while the Canucks are tried to extend their number one center, it seems to be disconnected. And when you just really think of this He continues on. The Canucks do not want to commit on this. They feel the noise is already enough. They are telling teams we are trying to sign him, and that is our goal. Obviously, there was reports that came out that it was looking like the Canucks did offer him a 8-year deal at $12 million plus per season. Right now, the Pettersson group has not said no to this. They haven't declined it, but it doesn't seem like he's in a rush to sign this. And it feels eerily similar to a guy that the Flames had a situation with, which is Matthew Tkachuk. Now, when you do look at Matthew Tkachuk being traded when he was on Calgary, the Flames traded star winger Matthew Tkachuk and a conditional 4th-round pick in 2025 to the Florida Panthers in a blockbuster deal for Jonathan Huberdeau, Mackenzie Weegar, and a conditional 1st-round pick. Tkachuk ended up signing an 8-year deal worth $9.5 per season, and right now, you don't want to lose Pettersson for nothing. And the good thing is, you're not going to. He is an RFA. This is a guy you can sign. You have the rights for. You can go to arbitration. But if you do this and you only get him back on a 1-year deal, he'll walk right into UFA and can go anywhere. So if the Canucks do fail to make the Stanley Cup Finals, win the Stanley Cup, whatever his vision might be, if he truly wants out, you need to look at this and maybe that you need to move him in this package. Obviously, right now for Calgary, Huberdeau hasn't looked great. Mackenzie Weegar has been fine. You have the conditional 1st next year. But this, in overall, just looking at it in a vacuum and on paper, this was a great haul. And yes, Pettersson is the best forward on the Canucks team. You have guys like JT Miller, Elias Lindholm. These guys will compete for this top player or top forward on this team. But do you look at Pettersson and say, hey, if you're not willing to sign, if you're going to take us to arbitration, if we have the chance to lose you after that, if you're not looking to be here long term, are we going to end up moving you in this Tkachuk deal? Obviously, if you can bring in a guy that was a former 100-point scorer on the wing, a defenseman, a conditional 1st, it really makes the team shake their head and say, do we want to do this? Are we committed to a guy like Pettersson, or would we rather these pieces? I mean, you look at right now in 2021-2022, this is Matthew Tkachuk. In 82 games, he had 42 goals, 62 assists for 104 points, which is, like I said, eerily similar to a guy like Pettersson. When you do look at it as well, as I said with Pettersson this year, he has 29 goals, 44 assists for 73 points. So he is on pace to get close or more than the Tkachuk year where he did have his 104 points. So then you wonder, what kind of value can you get for him? Are you just determined to keep him, not move him this offseason? You want to just try to extend him if this is maybe for 1 year, 3 years, 8 years if he takes it? Or do you want to look at this in the sense of maybe we can retain a lot of value for a guy like this? Maybe we want to build a team around a guy like JT Miller. Maybe you want to extend a guy like Elias Lindholm and go from there. So what's your guys' thoughts? Do you think Pettersson just kind of sitting out is kind of just making you a little uneasy about the situation? Do you think he's truly being certain when he does say he's just waiting for the end of the season? He doesn't want any noise. He just wants to focus on the season, go for the cup, and work from there. And if you were going to trade Pettersson, what kind of package would you want? And you can put down some mock trades down in the comments as well if you want me to look through them, react to them, just kind of comment on them, or other people to see. But that'd be it for this episode of Canucks Digest. Like I said, while you're down there leaving a comment, make sure to hit like, subscribe, leave a comment, share this with your friends, anything you want to. We'll be back tomorrow with another episode. If you have any ideas you want me to talk about, any prospects, let me know in the comments. But with that, take care.